You guys are crazy. So I started working on this video about 3-4 weeks ago, and that was before we hit 100 subscribers. We were getting close, and I wanted to do something special for hitting 100 subscribers. We hit it, and I had done a lot of work on the video, and I thought we were going to be able to get it out pretty fast, which I was excited about, but I ran into a lot of issues that pushed the video back a lot, and now we're above 200 subscribers, so thank you guys all so much. It really means a lot. I've enjoyed talking to all of you and just answering questions or talking about builds and stuff, so make sure to leave a comment and say hi. Yeah, it really means a lot that you guys have supported me. I'm gonna start the video from what it would have been, I guess, if I had released it closer to the 100 subscriber mark. But yeah, I just wanted to pop in here, say thank you. But also, I'll probably pop in every so often to just make comments and explain like the slowdowns a little bit more. So yeah. So let's go ahead and get into the video. I'm not really sure what to say. Thank you so much for the support. This week we hit 100 subscribers, which is kind of mind-blowing to me that there's 100 people that are interested in enough in these videos to want to come back for more. And that really means a lot to me. It's been a really fun, good learning experience for me. I'm really self-conscious about a lot of the little details in these videos. And so I'm so grateful for you guys' feedback, for your subscribing, and for the support. So thank you so much. Let's get into why you're really here though. In celebration of hitting 100 subscribers, I want to build a PC for $100. So I'm really excited to see how this build works out. I feel like I got really lucky the last couple weeks in being able to pick up some parts that made this possible. And the other thing that's really cool about this build to me, some of the previous builds, like I've said, it's taken me like a couple months or a few months to acquire all the parts for the build. But with this one, it took about 2 weeks. That was like the time span of being able to pick up the parts that I needed to put this together. Which actually, the timing was perfect in hitting 100 subscribers around the time that I got the last part that we needed. So similar to previous builds, we're going to be using a Dell Optiplex again. Okay, so this is what we're going to be using. This is a Dell Optiplex 3010. I got this for $60. It has an i5 3470 in it, and then it came with 8 gigs of RAM, and then a 500 gigabyte hard drive. So one of the corners that we're going to be cutting in this build is not adding an SSD. And I wouldn't suggest this. I wouldn't recommend this to almost anybody. Just because how cheap the SSDs are, you can get a really budget SSD for 20 bucks, under 20 bucks sometimes if you see them on sale. And it will make your experience dramatically better. Just your system will feel more snappy. The boot times will be a lot better. So I suggest doing that, but for the sake of this build and to be within the budget, we're going to go ahead and disregard using the SSD. And like I said, if you were to build something like this or replicate something like this in the future, like in a month or so, is like when you get a little bit more money, go ahead and get an SSD for sure and put that in here, and it'll be a night and day difference. But yeah, for the time being, we're just going to use the components that we got from this. So for the GPU, we're going to be using a GTX 950, and I bought this card for $30 on EVGA's B-Stock website. The products are like refurbished or scratch and dent, and they're in working order. They come with a 1-year warranty, and they're sold at a discount. So you can get things really cheap. They also have a sale in the middle of the week called Midweek Madness, and that's where I picked this up. So regularly, I think it was going for like $100 or something like that. But with the sale, it was $30, which fits perfectly into our budget. So we had $60 for the Dell Optiplex, and then we have $30 for this. I will note though, So for we have $10 more in our budget, and I really wanted to squeeze in that SSD, but I couldn't even find like a 60 gigabyte one on eBay for $10, and locally I couldn't seem to find one either. But one thing I did not notice when I bought this card is that it does require a 6-pin power connector. The card doesn't need a lot of power to run, but sometimes these lower powered cards do still require the power connector. So we're going to have to order a SATA to 6-pin power connector for this card to get it to work. Okay, so I found the connector. Has SATA on one side and then the 6-pin PCIe power connector on the other side. So this will help us to power the graphics card, and all of that, it cost just under $100. So it's perfect for our situation. I guess with that, let's go ahead and get into building the PC. It's your typical Dell Optiplex upgrade like I've shown in previous builds. So let's go ahead and hop into that. Okay, so I learned the hard way that for this graphics card, it actually requires the 8-pin power connector. So what I said earlier was wrong. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and order a SATA to 8-pin. You can also order those. They're about $8 for a pack of 2 of them. So we're gonna get that and then we'll test it out. So if you can hear that noise, that is the fan. So this, the 980 that we bought, if you can see, it looks like it's having some fan controller issues. So one of the fans ramps pretty much all the way up, and then the other one kind of starts and stops. And then it just blows really loud the whole time that you're trying to play games or anything. So I put it in the sleeper PC. That's the PC that I've been using consistently. But anyways, So it seems like it works okay. There were some like kind of weird stutters when I first started like messing with it and testing games, but I think I'm going to go ahead and try a different one and also send it back to EVGA. So when we get a new card, we're gonna go ahead and pop that in there and we'll continue testing. So the following week after this, I was able to pick up another GTX 950, and I felt like this would be faster instead of going through the return process for the first one. So I was able to get that second GTX 950 within a few days and start doing the benchmarks. I put it in the system and it started working and playing games well, so I was super pumped about that. So let's go ahead and jump into the benchmarks and we'll talk about what happened after doing the benchmarks. Okay, so there you go. Those are the benchmarks for the PC, and it worked pretty well. It's really surprising to me, and it was really fun to be able to get these parts together for $100. I will note, one of the reasons that this took so long for me to release was because of the GPUs. Right after doing these benchmarks, the GTX 950, it died on me. Like, I was doing the Fortnite benchmark and it crapped out on me. And I did some troubleshooting and realized that it was the GPU that had issues. So it was my second GTX 950 from EVGA that was having issues. And so the next week I didn't really want to try to get another one. So I decided I would go ahead and try to do the return option. And I didn't want to release this video and be like, hey look, you can build a $100 computer, when I didn't have the working computer on hand. So I decided to wait until I went through all the returns. I emailed EVGA and opened up a ticket, and things were pretty smooth. I was able to send the cards back and get replacements. And actually the replacements that they sent me were GTX 1060s, the 3 gig variants. So I'm assuming they didn't have any other replacement cards, so they sent these. So even though I had to wait, I kind of scored, I think, a little bit. These 1060s are a lot more powerful than a 950. They're still a budget card, especially nowadays, but I plugged it in the same Optiplex and tested it for a night. I was able to play games for 3-4 hours with some friends, and then I set up some benchmarks and let it run overnight, and it worked fine. I didn't have any issues. It never crashed. So that's kind of where we're at. This is the replacement they gave me. So if I counted this, which the benchmarks weren't for this, it would be an even better PC. But I want to go ahead and stick with the 950 benchmarks just because I've seen those go on sale a decent amount on the EVGA B-Stock website. So yeah, this was a really fun build to make. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them down below. If you want to watch more videos on budget builds and stuff, I have a few more, so go ahead and check them out. I'll leave some cards at the end that you can click on and go to those next videos. And yeah, just don't forget to like and subscribe. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.